Police officers do not like when you break the law at the airport. The man, the myth, the legend himself, my friend, my old teammate, Michael Wilhoit. He was the outside linebacking coach for the Denver Broncos. When I say was, I don't know if he still has his job or not, but he was a outside linebacking coach for the Denver Broncos. Last week, he decided to park his truck, his Bronco, I believe it was, in a no parking zone at an airport at the Denver International Airport, where he decided to go inside and take care of business, drop off his friends, family, whatever, right? He come out and there's a police officer saying, hey, you can't park here. In the time leading up to that, Michael decided to chest bump the officer. The officer then decided to proceed to push Michael Wilhoit back. Michael then decided to slug the police officer across the face. The police officer then pulled out his taser and tased Michael Wilhoit. Michael Wilhoit did not drop, so it's clear he was wearing some type of hoodie or whatever, got in his truck and drove away. He was later arrested on assault on a police officer. He was held without bond on Sunday night until Monday morning on his court appearance. I was going to play devil's advocate, and I was going to say, hey, let's see the body footage. Let's see what happened, yada, yada, yada. But, Michael, I know you've had a rough upbringing. I know that you've done this, and this, and got to the point, and you've had a very successful NFL career and a very successful coaching career as well. You have done a hell of a lot better than I have in life on the football aspect of a life. But when you decide to shove a cop, to push a cop, or chest bump a cop, or whatever, you will expect to get in trouble. Then you decided to punch a cop, and then they get tased and then leave the scene of a crime. Now, I want to play devil's advocate because when he was tased and he left, why did he only get charged with assault on a police officer? Why did he not get charged with felony fleeing and eluding, leaving a scene and all this stuff? Like, there could have been a pile of charges. So I do not want to pass judgment until his day in court is happened. But at the same time, Michael, my man, you cannot do that. Come on, man. You know better than that. We all know better than that. We were all raised better than that. Don't do that. Cue that intro.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL talk. Let's go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buccanners here with the Man Hour Show to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well. I'm not for sure what's going on here. I can't see shit. I don't know. What's going on here? Let me check this out. Start. There we go. Failed connection. I don't know what's going on, but we are live, raw, uncut over here at youtube.com/Man Hour. My God, guys, I am all over the place right now. It has been a minute since we have gone on here on the live show here. Man, I got the cough. Woo. All right, let's figure it out. Let's reel it back in. This is live, raw, uncut NFL talk, guys. Man Hour NFL talk. We are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. And you got a great show for you guys lined up today. Great show. We got a little bit of factor crap. We got a little buy or sell Monday. And we're going to talk about the trade of Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel has been shipped off to the Washington Commanders for a 5th round take. We're going to talk about that. The Falcons GM Terry Falknick says Kirk Cousins will be a backer for the foreseeable future for the Atlanta Falcons. We'll talk about that. Travis Kelce is expected to return. Shahir got his 4-year, $60 million deal for the Buffalo Bills, and Chris Godwin is still a free agent. We got to talk about that, all that, much more. Before we get too carried away, guys, we welcome some people in chat. We got to welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself. My man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Pickens, put himself, Mr. John Peoples. What's up, John? What's up? We were live over there on Facebook, and now we're just kind of being all crazy. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, guys. I am all out of whack right now. The new quick intro kind of got me bamboozled. We'll have to go back to the old one, I think. I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. But if you guys are joining us here, be sure to chime in. This is live interactive show. As always, live, raw, uncut NFL talk. But let's get into today's show, guys. Let's get into today's show here. Let's reel it back in. And let's see what's going on. And we are going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Deebo Samuel himself. Guys, the San Francisco 49ers have traded Deebo Samuel for a 5th round pick. That's right, a 5th round pick to the Washington Commanders. When I first saw this trade, I'm like, what is going on? Is this trade really a good trade? What are the Commanders doing? What are the 49ers doing? Letting one of their best receivers go, right? For a 5th round pick. But guys, who came out on top of this of this trade? Was it the Commanders getting Deebo Samuels, or was it the San Francisco 49ers getting a 5th round pick? Guys, I want to preface this right off the bat that I think that Deebo Samuels is a good receiver. I think he is a X factor type of receiver for many teams out there. He was definitely the X factor receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. When Deebo did well, the San Francisco 49ers did well. However, during his 6 years at San Francisco, he only had one season over 1,000 yards. That was back in 2021, where he did have 1,400 yards with 6 touchdowns. 1,000-yard receiving season. The other 5 were not very good. Let's just be honest. As far as stat-wise goes, under 800 yards receiving for him, respectively. He's actually only had 2 seasons over 5 touchdowns in a season. Back in 2021, we had his 1,400-yard season, and back in 2023, just a couple years ago, when the San Francisco 49ers did make it to the Super Bowl, and they end up losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. Guys, his average yards per catch in his NFL career is 5.7 yards. That's not very good. Let's just be honest. 5.7 yards per catch is not very good as the NFL receiver standards. He will be entering his 7th season in the NFL. And in those 6 years that he has played, going into his 7th, he has not played one complete season. Not one season has he played a full 16 or 17 game season. His closest one was his rookie when he played 15 games in that particular season. And then he did play 16 games back in 2021. That was the first year of the 17-game season. Long story short, he has not played a complete season. He also has been to one Pro Bowl back in 2021 when his 1,400-yard season. So, guys, when you look at Deebo Samuels, his stats do not blow you out of the water. His stats do not awe you by any stretch of the imagination. His stats are not going to come out and say, pay the man all that money that he wants. But at the same time, Deebo Samuels has been the X factor for the San Francisco 49ers. He has been all for the San Francisco 49ers for many, many years. He has done a little bit of this. He's done a little bit of that. He carries the ball. He runs slants. He played quarterback. He even plays running back a little bit. But now, when you look at the Washington Commanders offense from last season, do they really need a receiver? Do they really need a receiver to complement with what they did last season? When we look at the Washington Commanders offense from the 2024 NFL season, they were 7th overall in total offense. Pretty damn good, in my opinion, especially with the rookie or a new head coach and then a rookie quarterback in an aging defense. 7th in total offense is pretty damn good. They were 17th in passing, right smack dab in, like in the middle, and 3rd in rushing. However, they do have some key free agents that they could potentially lose this offseason. Of course, they do have over $100 million in salary cap space, so they got money to pay him. It's just a matter if they want to keep those guys respectively. KJ Osborne is a free agent this season. He has played 22% of the snaps last season. Zach Ertz, their tight end, did play 66% of the snaps last season. Jamison Crowder is a free agent as well, 10% of the snaps. De'Ami Brown played 40% of the snaps last season. He also did have a good postseason. And then Noah Brown played 40% of the snaps last season as well. I do not foresee him coming back as well. So there's definitely a need for receiver for the Washington Commanders moving forward. So when we look at these two teams, the San Francisco 49ers and then the Washington Commanders. Commanders got Deebo. The 49ers got the 5th overall pick. Guys, who do you think won this trade? Who do you think legitimately won this trade? Now, off the bat, I'm going to have to say the Washington Commanders won this trade. They needed a receiver. They got the receiver. They got a solid number 2, if not the number 3 receiver on their team. However, Deebo has injuries issues. However, Deebo has been kind of a diva as of late. However, Deebo has kind of really never been a true receiver on a team all season long. And then the San Francisco 49ers, are they in a rebound? Or not a rebound, but a rebuild mode? Are they in a rebuild mode? I don't know. I got to say that the San Francisco 49ers ultimately did win this, or sorry, not the Washington Commanders, the Washington Commanders, sorry, let me edit that out, even though this is live, raw, uncut. I think that the Washington Commanders ultimately did win this trade by getting Deebo Samuels, and I think Deebo is going to have his second Pro Bowl season. I think he's going to have his second 1,000-yard receiving next season, and I also think that he will finally break that 10-touchdown mark in 2025 NFL season. I still think that they definitely won the trade. Let's jump over here to the comments and see what the people are saying. Paul Aker says, your predictions are effing terrible. You always F up and always get it wrong. Typical Dallas fans who hate the Eagles and Washington. Do something good. All right, Paul. First things first. Let me go back to my predictions from last season. Let me go to the playoff predictor, the v2.playoffpredictor.com. Let me confirm that I am a human, not a robot. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's see here. I had the Philadelphia Eagles going 14-3 last season. I'm not for sure where you're getting where my predictions are effing terrible. I did have the Cowboys as the 9-8 team. I did not expect them to be losing Dak Prescott early in the season. I did not expect them to, just kind of shit the bed most of the season. I did have them as a winning team. I had them at 9-8. Also had the Commanders at an 8-9 record as well. I was wrong on them as well. Many people were wrong on the Washington Commanders. So, Paul, when you say my predictions are effing terrible, what are effing terrible about them? Most of the teams I was pretty spot on. The only ones that I really got wrong was the AFC South. I had faith in the Tennessee Titans. They were terrible. I had the Houston Texans at 10-7. That's where they finished at 10-7, if I'm not correct. Was it 11-6? Yeah, they were 10-7. I did have the Colts at 9-8. They finished 8-9. I had the Jaguars as a 6-win team, not a 4-win team. But everywhere else, I was pretty much spot on. Raiders 4-13, told you so. The Broncos, I had them as a 7-win team, flipped that around. They were 10-7. So, just because I'm a passive Cowboys fan, I root for the Cowboys when I'm watching NFC games. How does that make my predictions effing terrible, Paul? You always effed up and always get it wrong. I was pretty spot on all year long, Paul. Go back to last June. Go back to last July when I picked when I predicted these games. I got damn near, I would say 75%, 80% of the records correctly. And I don't hate the Eagles or the Commanders. I actually had the Eagles going to the Super Bowl from like week 7 on. I was down on the Commanders, yes. But at the end of the day, you know what? Everybody was wrong on the Commanders. So stop it, Paul. If you want to talk shit, do it live. Don't hide behind of like a post 15 minutes ago and then come over here and I see all the comments, Paul. Stop it. Stop it. Let's all go on, move on here. Move on. Falcon GM Terry says that Kirk Cousins will be on the team for the foreseeable future as a backup. As you guys know, Kirk Cousins is making $45 million per season right now. He's the 12th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. So, guys, do you foresee Kirk Cousins being a backup in Atlanta in 2025? When you think of a backup quarterback, you can think of some aging quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers is going to be probably a backup quarterback. Russell Wilson's probably going to be a backup quarterback. Other names out there, Sam Darnold, etc. Right? But on the other hand, these quarterbacks will not be making $45 million a season. On the other hand, these quarterbacks will pay maybe about $15 to $20 million a season per tops. Now, it has recently come out that Kirk Cousins was injured last season, and the team did not know about it. The team just thought that he was playing bad, right? It turns out he was hurt. Coach didn't know, GM didn't know, quarterback coach didn't know. I think it's total BS. I think they're trying to cover something up a little bit here. And despite being benched last season, he Kirk Cousins still had 3,500 yards passing, which was 18th in the NFL. He had 18 touchdowns, and at one point in the season had the Falcons at 6-3 record, named one of the hottest teams in the NFL. They beat the Bucs twice, they battled the Chiefs, and they beat the Eagles. Guys, earlier in the season, 2024 NFL season, the Falcons were the cream of the crop. The Falcons were the man, the myth, the legends, right? Then they went on a 4-game losing streak. They broke that 4-game losing streak with the win over the terrible Las Vegas Raiders, and Kirk Cousins ultimately got benched. So the question is, guys, will Kirk Cousins be a backup in Atlanta in 2025? Guys, we are hearing that Kirk Cousins was injured last season, and his coach didn't know, GM didn't know it, just to save face for his trade bait material. Falcons GM Terry says that he will be on the team, and the team wants him because we always want something that we don't want, or something that you want, right? When I'm dating this girl, every man in the nation wants this girl, but the minute we break up, nobody wants that girl. Same thing as a man. As soon as I get picked up, all these women start talking to me. Once I'm single, where'd all these women go, right? Guys, the Falcons GM is playing head games. Kirk Cousins will not be a backup in Atlanta next season. Kirk Cousins will not be in the state of Georgia next season. Hell, Kirk Cousins may not even be in the NFL next season. Now, he is guaranteed $45 million. What team is going to pay him $45 million? Steelers, Jets, Giants, I don't know. Somebody might. But how can the Atlanta Falcons legitimately have a $45 million player sitting on the bench? It's just mind-boggling to me. It's crazy to even think that. RPG Production says, playing bad just like the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins did play bad. During that 4-game losing streak, I think he had like 12 interceptions, so like 1 touchdown. It was terrible. He was playing bad. Chiefs did have a bad Super Bowl as well. Thank you for reminding me that. But the minute your team can put on this championship hat, then you can talk your shit. But guys, Kirk Cousins will not be a backup in Atlanta next season. Kirk Cousins will not be a $45 million quarterback on the bench. Kirk Cousins either will be on a new team or he won't be on a team at all. It is what it is. It is what it is. Next up, my man, Travis Kelce. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the greatest tight end of all NFL football, is expected to return for his 13th season in the NFL season. Guys, how big is this for the Kansas City Chiefs? How big is Travis Kelce returning for the 13th NFL season for the Kansas City Chiefs? Guys, Travis Kelce is an all-time great tight end. Matter of fact, Travis Kelce might be the best tight end the NFL has ever seen. Granted, he has not broken 1,000 yards the last 2 seasons, but before that, he was a workhorse. He was the man, the myth, the legend. I think he had like 7 straight seasons of 1,000+ yards receiving in the NFL. Now, side note here, the last 2 seasons, he was the number 1 receiver on the team. He was the guy. So therefore, he got double teamed a lot. He got taken out of a lot of game plans, and people schemed their defense around him. Still got 800, 900 yards. Guys, this is huge for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is huge for the Kansas City Chiefs because Travis Kelce, no matter how bad he plays, no matter how much his body language sucks, no matter how much like you double and triple team him, he's still going to get open. He's still going to make those big plays, and he's still going to be a veteran voice in the locker room. The Kansas City Chiefs have become this tight end university type of thing. They have 3 or 4 really, really good tight ends on their team right now. They have 3 or 4 tight ends that could be easily starting on any other team, but they're behind Travis Kelce. Hell, the Kansas City Chiefs might go out there and trade for Kyle Pitts. It might happen. How about that passing of the torch? Guys, this is huge for the Kansas City Chiefs because they don't instantly find that void for next season. It's a slowly digress, and then it's a nice little transitioning. Kansas City Chiefs are going to be Super Bowl favorites next season. Kansas City Chiefs are going to probably make it back to the Super Bowl yet again. The Kansas City Chiefs will be back yet again in the Super Bowl for the 4th time in a row, winning 3 Super Bowls out of 4, all because Travis Kelce is the man, the myth, the legend. So, guys, how huge is this for the Kansas City Chiefs to return next season? RPG Production says, you're washed. Tight end will never be on Gronk level. You're right, because Travis Kelce is up here. Gronkowski is up here. Just it is what it is. It is what it is. Stop the hate. RPG Production says, and by the way, your hat says conference championships. And we have one of those when the Pats beat the Chiefs twice in the AFC Championship. Your property franchise will never be on the Pats level. All right, RPG Productions. Tom Brady did beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs once in the AFC Championship game. I believe that was Patrick Mahomes' 2nd year. All because D4 decided to line up offsides and Tom Brady threw a interception. Got to replay the play, whatever. But ultimately, the Patriots won. Yes. But the Patriots have not beaten the Kansas City twice in the AFC Championship game. Tom Brady has beaten them twice with the Bucs and the Patriots. But the Patriots have not beaten the Kansas City Chiefs twice in the AFC Championship game. And RPG Production says you have to admit that Tom Brady is the GOAT. Tom Brady is not the GOAT. Tom Brady was a great game managing quarterback. Tom Brady was a quarterback that got carried by his team very, very frequently. Tom Brady was great when he had a great defense and a great supporting cast around him. I will admit that. But the greatest quarterback of all time, and still to this date, is Joe Montana. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Put that in the smoky and smoke